So, and then we'll get started with our asana practice. The thing that I wanted to add really quick, two more housekeeping things that I forgot. One is make sure that you sign up for the virtual studio so you can continue your personal practice. It is so important as we go through teacher training to keep your own practice. And I will tell you from experience, and those of you who have done a teacher training before probably know this already, but it is hard to keep your own practice when you're submerged in this. But what makes us better teachers is remembering to always be a student. And the way in which we do that and do it well is to show up to the mat. So I did just put in the chat where you can sign up for the virtual studio. It's $10 down and $10 a month for unlimited classes. We're adding more classes on a regular basis. So if you don't have a studio that you can practice in, that's close to you that you might feel comfortable, or if you just want to practice at an off time, check the virtual studio because chances are we have a class that's available. So if you haven't gotten a chance to do that, make sure you do that. And then the other thing that I'm offering this time that I have not done in past teacher trainings is I'm opening my calendar to one-on-ones. So if you're interested in a private class with just me, outside of the group, I do have those available as well. And you can DM me or text me directly about that. There is a cost that's associated with it, but I always give everybody a price break that is in teacher training for those. And my OGs know that I don't open that up often, like ever, because usually my schedule is kind of crazy. But I felt like it's something that I need to do this go around, so I'm making space for those who would like to do that. So those are those two things. And what was the other one? Virtual studio, one-to-one. I feel like there was another one. It'll come to me. But let's go ahead and do these last few introductions so we can get those out of the way. I believe there was Michelle, Kiki, and Gabby needed to go. So are any of those folks on already? I know we still have a few folks coming back to the meeting. Anyone?
I'm Gabby.
Okay,
Hello.
go for it.
I am originally from California. I am going to be starting this practice in Australia. That is where my journey has taken me. I did, I believe back in 2020, one of your first ones, the 200 hour. I don't think I was in the it wasn't the right time for me, and I was, of course, life was lifing, like the other lady said, and I did not finish. But I still was able to take out of that, and I was grateful for that. So as I'm in Australia scrolling, of course, I see you pop right back on my feed, and I'm like, yeah, this is the time, this is the place. Let's go ahead and do this. Um, I have practiced yoga on and off, I probably the last 15, 20 years, just in my own space, a part of a studio, just on and off. And it's always kind of had a special part in my heart that I was able to kind of breathe and release and actually feel whatever the universe was trying to get me to listen and feel. And I really want to be able to share that with others, even if wherever part of their life they're in, learn myself and then help them also wherever journey they're in. So, hi from Australia, and it is pretty early in the morning right now, but I am here and ready.
That is amazing. Every time we do this and someone pops on from the other side of the world, it's just it reinforces the blessing that us being online is, because I would have never been able to have you in my space had we not, had an opportunity to bring teacher training online. So it reinforces and reminds me to stop griping about it on days where where technology is working my nerves, and to remember that it serves a good purpose as well. So thank you for being here. All right, the other person, I believe we had Michelle and Kiki as well. Are either one of you on?
Hi, um,
Hey,
my name is
oh, it's Michael.
Michael. Yes, I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm a professional hip hop dancer and choreographer and teacher, and I've been dancing for like over a decade now, and I've been practicing yoga for about 4 years or so. Um, I kind of like to look at everything in my life through a more spiritual lens, and I've kind of been on this spiritual seeking journey, and yoga has been a big part of that. And after I kind of got into the practice and I saw how positively affected my mental health, how, it helped me with my anxiety, helped me with my creativity, like it just strongly was on my heart to want to share the practice with others as well. And so one of the local yoga clubs here, it's called Yoga Moves Us. Their president, her name's Kirsten, had actually found this program for me so that I could, advance my practice and then start officially teaching and everything. So I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. I'm glad to have you here. Welcome. All right. So who else? Kiki, I think is my last person. May not be back on yet because I do not see their name. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, you are. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I am. Hi, I'm Kiki. I'm a Canadian who spends the winters in California. So I've been doing that for like the last 4 years or so. I have done the 200 with Ashley before, but I was recovering from a stroke. So I really wasn't as active as a participant as I wanted to be. I do offer online coaching and yoga and tarot. I started when I got certified in December 2019. So at the time, I couldn't teach in a studio due to the pandemic. But since being in California, I've been able to teach within my community where I live and at the studio where I volunteer. So I'm excited to further my practice. I've been a student since 2002. So I would say that yoga saved my life, really. And my goal in doing the 500 is to one, enhance my and further my practice, my teacher training skills, and I want to open a studio where I can have retreats for Black women. And I'd be doing that in Trinidad, where I have a home, and I want to be able to retire there. I'll be turning 50 in a few years, so that's the goal, to just be able to live, laugh, and relax.
Kiki, I think I officially want to be you when I grow up. So
I love you.
I
Thank
want
you
to be
so
in
much.
Trinidad. Right.
Come, baby.
You're
You're close
welcome.
by. Come, we're neighbors.
Yes. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm here for this Black girl magic and aging well. It's yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
honestly, honestly.
All right, Steph, you were my next person.
Hi, I'm Steph. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I am an interior designer. Um, let's see, I didn't catch the prompt, but from what I got, I've been doing yoga, I've been practicing yoga since probably 2013 on and off. Mostly on, but there were some periods. Um, Yoga has been super important in helping me grieve the loss of church in my life. And I did mention having off periods, so I kind of wanted to do a yoga training, teacher training to get me back into my practice more consistently. Something that motivates me is sharing what I know. So the more I learn about something, the more I want to do it and share it. And so that's why I'm here.
I am so happy to have you here, and thank you for so much mentioning church. It leads me to make sure I say this as well, that this experience may deconstruct some of the church things, and may help you find the path to liberation in a very interesting way, and the journey to yourself in a very interesting way. So if you feel discomfort as we go through this, I ask that you be curious about it as opposed to judgmental with self about it, and give yourself the space to grow and see what you find out about you as we move through this time together. Okay, so last thing I remember my announcement now, we are going to do, I can't see anybody. Oh, there are my windows. Okay. We're going to do a local retreat here in Florida in Clearwater Beach. We're going to do it in September so we can see one another in person. This is something that I have not offered before, but I realize now that yes, the online space is beautiful because we get to connect, but it would be nice to like hug some necks and say hey to everybody. So in your closing email from today, I will send you that information as well. So that way you'll have that too. So that was the third thing that I needed to mention. And myself, I have been teaching, as I said, for about a decade now. I've owned a studio since 2017. I moved the studio online 2019 because of the pandemic. We've been in person and online off and on within that time. I'm getting ready to move our physical space again to an area that caters to Black folks a little bit better, so I can in person meet the clientele that I want to work with. So I'm between deciding either Clearwater or St. Petersburg, but we will have a physical space home once again. In the meantime, I teach from Black Prana Yoga in Tampa. That is when I need a physical yoga studio space, because they're where I did my 300-hour training. They're where I partner with and teach. I do a lot of diversity, equity, inclusion work around here and a whole host of other things. So they are kind to, I am now at this point best friends with the owner here, and they lend their space to me, which is an awesome thing. So I got to yoga because, as I mentioned before, I had 2 kids under 2, and when I tell y'all I was crazy, okay? I was on the struggle bus. I had the worst postpartum ever, and my thought was, not that this is a rational thought, but just this is where I was for real. My thought was, if I can get an hour a week to myself, like maybe I will feel less not me. So I showed up to a yoga class on a Sunday. I got done with it and I was like, oh, this feels good. Okay, I can do this. And that Monday I signed up for yoga teacher training, and I've been teaching ever since. So I came to this a real way, like many people do. And I came to this in a space of really open and vulnerability and rawness and needing that level of healing for me. What I thought I was going to get was a bunch of asana practice and a whole bunch of poses on a mat. And what I got was so much more. Now, within that time of doing 200-hour and then 300-hour training, I got divorced. I figured out who I was as a person. And I made some really big life-changing decisions. I learned to set boundaries, which my boundaries before, prior to teacher training, were very porous, to say the least. Now they are very firm. And since then, I've gotten remarried, and can say that yoga teacher training and becoming a yoga teacher in this exploration of self led me to having a life partner that actually likes me as a person. I know that sounds like a wild thing to say, but that gives perspective as to where I was before. And it's changed how I interact with the outside world and how I value me as a human being, how I value me as a Black woman, and how I value the community that I get an opportunity to create. And I want to say now, if I didn't before, I need y'all as much as y'all need me. It is such a humbling blessing to look back at your faces and see my own reflected back. And every time I get the joy of doing this, I realize that I needed this as much as y'all needed this. I needed somebody to say, hey, let's create this yoga space so we can love on each other, and that I can love on people and give folks the gift that yoga had given to me, and that I desperately needed at a time when I was in the shit, basically. So with that being said, the last thing about me, and I did not give this disclaimer is that I will swear in training. I'm letting you know now. I'm going to say the F word. So if your child is in the room, please let me know beforehand, because I don't want to be the person that introduces them to the F word. But chances are I'm going to swear throughout training, because there are moments where I'm lecturing, it just pops through because it is poignant and necessary. But yeah, for the saints, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I just keep it a bug. If you know, you know, right? Exactly. Like, y'all know how it's fine. So, one of the things that I tell my students, and this is really important as a teacher, the same person that you get when I am teaching is the same person that you get outside of the studio. There is no difference. Okay. So I hope that we nurture spaces and that you get to teach in spaces where the same person you are in that classroom is the same person they get outside. Okay. I'm in a room with 6 baby chicks and they don't mind. Thank you, Claudette. So, because this is something that the more you are you, the more you are your full self, the more you bring your authentic self to the party, you then have the opportunity to attract the folks that need you. And when building a business or building a class, even, the most uncomfortable thing to do is to think you have to put on a mask, and then you attract a whole bunch of folks that aren't really for you and aren't your vibe. There's nothing like building a business with people that you don't like, or it's just not the community that you're meant to serve. So I'm telling you this now as we go through this journey. Be willing to take off the mask. Be willing to take off whatever cloak or that you use to kind of keep that distance from who you are, from whom you present to be to who you actually are, and just be you. Just be you, and let the chips fall where they may. You will do yourself a whole lot better service by going about it this way. All right, so let's talk about these sun salutations. Everybody got your notes? Yes? Or something to write with? Okay, cool. All right, so sun sals serve as the backbone of our yoga practice. They serve as the warm-up. And the reason that I say that they're the backbone to the yoga practice is because they are tried and true, time-tested, 5,000 years old and then some, of how to effectively warm up the body to start a class. For new teachers, I always give the suggestion, please just use sun salutations as your warm-up. Why? Because then you know that you have fully and responsibly warmed up your student. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, yes, yes? Okay, cool. The reason it is important to make sure that you do an adequate warm-up is because you don't want injury to occur. If you don't adequately warm up bodies, that's where injury can occur. Now, if you're teaching a class full of 20-year-olds, you still need to give them a warm-up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. Okay? The other piece that I will tell you now is, as a teacher, the only portion of the class that I suggest that you do with your students is the warm-up. Why? Because if you have to demo later on down the line, you are doing it in a warm body. You are not deciding that you're just going to demo pigeon when all you've done is walk around the room a couple of times. And now you're like, I'm going to bust out this pigeon, and your hips like hell you are. You are not. That's not what you're doing. You thought. You had a vision of pigeon, but it is not what's happening currently. So do your hips, your hamstrings, your knees a favor and do the warm up with your students. This is the only time that you'll hear me say that I lean in the side of actually doing the demo, because you just may need it later on, and it's a more effective way to keep your body safe, especially if you're going to be one of those teachers that teaches a boatload of classes in a week. All right. Okay, so let's go to our mat. And let me change my view. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that everybody can see me. Okay, so let's talk about your feet. We're gonna build this from the ground up, all right? Right now, I'm kind of standing in my regular posture. See how my knees are drooped together? I'm exaggerating it a bit, but this is just for the purposes of what we're doing. I want to make sure that I'm grounded firmly into my feet. So I'm going to press the mound of my big toes, the outside of my pinky toes, the two back corners of my heels. I'm going to make sure I press them firmly into the mat. That is step one. I should be able to lift my toes and fan them out like they're my fingers, like you can see me doing here, and then put my toes back down. And I'm going to use the mound of my big toe to now engage and grip the mat. Not hold on for dear life, but just engage and grip the mat. The next order of business are, what are my knees doing? Right now they're locked. I'm going to bend them just a bit. So soften those knees. Right now, I have a lordotic curve, so there's a curve in my back. I'm going to engage my lower abs and tuck my tailbone under. I'm also going to make sure I'm using my glutes to really over-exaggerate that tuck. So squeezing my bum. From here, right now, as I stand kind of in this neutral posture, my ribs are close to my hips. I want to lift my ribs away from my hips, make sure I keep my glutes engaged, bring my arms down to my side. This is my mountain pose. This is my Tadasana. So first we want to check our roots, which are our feet, so then we can rise and stand tall. This is my normal posture. You notice everything kind of caved in. This is my Tadasana. So everyone, if you can, find your Tadasana. Tuck the tailbone under, lift tall, and find your mountain pose. There is a comment. Yes, Suncells for finding proper alignment is amazing. I want to change my view so I can see what y'all are doing. Okay, so from here, so we have our Tadasana, and in our sun salutation, since we're talking about Ashtanga, we start in Samasthiti, which is just our starting pose. So we bring the big toes together so they can touch. Heels are open in the back. Then the rest of our setup is the same. Soft knees, tuck the tailbone under, lift the ribs away from the hips, engage my glutes, arms down. Here's my starting point. Okay? I'm going to turn side profile so you can see. Big toes are together, heels are out. I'm going to lift out of my ankles, bend my knees, tuck my tailbone under, reach ribs away from hips, squeeze and engage my glutes as well. Hands come down to the side. Then we'll inhale, arms raise above head, and palms come together. From here, think of spiraling your elbows towards one another. So this is away, this is towards one another to press the palms together. We'll exhale, forward fold, fold from the hinge at your hips. Think of belly coming down to your thighs. And you want to draw your sit bones in towards one another. So think of turning your headlights on. So externally rotate your quads. So turn your knees out. Externally rotate the at the hip joint to squeeze your thighs together. Now we find our forward fold. If I internally rotate, it dumps everything in. If I externally rotate, it brings my sit bones together, and this is where we can find our forward fold. In the Ashtanga method, we're going to halfway lift. Our half lift is just head up only. Okay? That is where we are. So everyone, I'm going to come and take a peek at what's going on. We're going to do this together. So we'll inhale, raise arms above head. Then exhale, forward fold, hinge at hip. In that hip hinge, squeeze your inner thighs together. And let those hands hang heavy. We'll inhale, halfway lift. So just your head up only. Exhale, lower back down. From there, Place your palms and push them into the mat. So if you got to bend your knees to get your hands down there, then step back for your plank. Here, we'll lower down the chaturanga. Your chaturanga is elbows squeezed into your thighs. If your elbows are out here, it affects the integrity of the posture and it's going to make it way hard, way hard. Elbows brush the side. So we're here and we lower down. Okay. So let's everyone chaturanga together. So let me see. You did not miss these rooms. Most people don't, friends. All right. So if you're like, why are these push-ups so flipping hard? Come down and do them on your knees, but keep your elbows tuned into your sides. If they're out here, you're going to be in the struggle bus and it's going to be really hard on your shoulder. All right. So let's everyone come up to standing.
I just watched sorry, already,
Go
right?
ahead.
Today. So I was trying to do it and watch at the same time. How am I supposed to get up from that push up? Am I supposed to do it on my knees?
No, I'll tell you what's next. We just haven't done it yet. So everyone come to mountain pose. And we'll all inhale low, our arms to raise, palms come together at the top. We'll exhale forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, let the head come up only. Exhale, let the palms press into your mat. And then step back to plank. So everybody check your plank. If your asana is high up in the air, tuck your pelvis toward your belly button. So tuck it in. Now from here, see how my arms are right by my side? I'm gonna take my feet out, drop my bottom, and keep my elbows into my side. Slow lower if you gotta. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so where do we go from here was the next question. Once we are there, and our chaturanga, there's a pause at the bottom of that motion. So you go from your plank, your chaturanga, then you come up to either cobra or you can come up to up dog. Those are your two options. Okay? So we would inhale, everyone come down to chaturanga, come down to your belly. We'll inhale up for cobra or inhale up for up dog. Up dog means thighs are lifted. From here, you're gonna tuck your toes and lift your hips and press back to downward facing dog. All right. So everyone squeeze your inner thigh muscles toward one another. Use your legs to help your down dog. Alicia, walk your hands forward just a bit for me. Yeah. And tuck your chin into your chest. There you go. Now, if you use your legs to help your down dog, you don't have to look up. Y'all can hear me. You can hear me upside down, I promise. If you use your legs to help your down dog, your shoulders will stop cussing at you. All right, now look between your hands, step, hop, or tiptoe towards the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise. Palms come together at the top. Down to heart center and down to your side. All right, so that's Surya Namaskar A, that is Sun Sal A. Let's do it all together and I will just call it for you. Okay? We'll put it together without the pause. Inhale, arms raised. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at hips. We'll inhale, halfway lift, head up only. Chaturanga, push palms into the mat and take it back for chaturanga. Lower down, chaturanga. We'll inhale for up dog, chest lift. Exhale for down dog, hips raise. Now breathe here for 5 times. 1, 2. Everyone use your legs. Think that you're squeezing a block between your inner thighs. Draw your belly button towards your spine. 3, 4, 5. Look between your hands and step, hop, or tiptoe to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise. Gorgeous. Y'all look wonderful. All right, come back to Tadasana. Find your mountain pose. So now we're going to do Surya Namaskar B, which is your chair. So feet are together, knees are together. Inhale as though you're sitting in the chair. Now everyone drop your asana towards the floor and sit up tall in your chair. And then drop your behind towards your mat more. So sit up tall in your chair and drop your culo towards your mat. Arms stay up. Arms should be up. Yep. Lift your chest up. Now exhale, forward fold. That is your chair posture, friends. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Press your palms into the mat and step back for plank. Lower down, chaturanga. We'll inhale for up dog. Exhale, hips back for down dog. On your next inhale, the right foot steps through to the right hand. So step your right foot forward. Yep. Ground that back heel. So ground the left heel into the mat to rise and find your warrior 1. Okay, before you go anywhere, look at your knee. Your knee and your toe should all be going in the same direction. That back heel has to be down. If the back heel is up, it is now high lunge. It is no longer warrior 1. So make sure that back heel is down. In order to achieve the back heel down, you may have to shorten your stance. From here, you're going to exhale, forward fold, and frame that front foot with your hands. Step back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale for Urdhva Mukha, lift chest. Exhale for Adho Mukha, lift hips. Second side, the left foot steps through to the left hand and right heel turns down this time. Inhale up for warrior 1. Both arms should be raised above head for your warrior 1. Exhale, forward fold, frame that front foot with the arms. Step back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, chest lift. Exhale, hips raise. We'll breathe here for 5 times. 1. Use those legs in that down dog. Don't suffer for no reason. 2. 3. 4. 5. Look between the hands. Step, hop, or tiptoe to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back to chair. So drop your asana towards your mat, lift your chest. Sonia, lift your chest. There you go. All right, exhale, come back to Tadasana. Okay, last round, we're gonna put the two of them together and then we're gonna talk about it. Here we go. Inhale, raise arms. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, take it back, chaturanga. Exhale there, lower down. Inhale for up dog. Exhale, press back for down dog. Breathe here 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look between the hands, step, hop, or tiptoe to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, guide you all the way up. Palms come together at the top, down to heart center, and down to your side. We'll come inhale for chair. I'm going to count in Sanskrit, so that's the only difference. Dway, exhale, forward fold, hinge at hip. In Sanskrit and English, so. Trini will inhale, head up only. Exhale there. Chatvarde, take the feet back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, chest lifts for up dog. Exhale, hips lift for down dog. Inhale, right foot steps through the right hand, back heel, left heel lowers down. Inhale up for warrior 1. Press into that front knee before you exit. There you go. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at hips, frame that front foot. Take that foot back, lower down, chaturanga. We'll inhale for up dog. Exhale for down dog. Second side, left foot steps through the left hand, right heel turns down. Inhale up for warrior 1. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at hips, frame that front foot, step back, lower down, chaturanga. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. We inhale for up dog, Urdhva Mukha, and exhale for down dog for Adho Mukha. Breathe here for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look between the hands, step, hop, or tiptoe to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale there. Inhale, back to chair. Drop your asana, lift your chest. Breathe. Big, long inhale. Nice, long exhale. Make your way to Tadasana, and you can come into seated so we can chat it up for our last few minutes. All right, friends. Did that feel like fresh hell? If you were miserable, raise your hand. I understand. Welcome to doing chair pose for realsies. Yeah. I know it's rough, because here's the thing. In our own practice, sometimes we get lax in what things look like. And we're like, we're doing the thing until somebody looks at it and goes, hey, girl, that chair, let's be friends. Oh, yeah, I will let you skip it on occasion. I will let you skip it on occasion, Tanisha. But here's the thing. Chaturanga builds character. I'm convinced. Yes, Gabby, you have a question. Go ahead, my friend.
Oh no, you said raise your hand if that was difficult. My hand is way up.
Oh.
I don't know. That was just raising my hand. I don't know if it's early morning or,
no,
but yeah.
So in the Ashtanga practice, my running joke is between this and Hot 26s, these are 2 things that I do and that I that I teach. Yes, and great job to everyone. We all made it. We made it through sun salutation. So I teach Ashtanga, and I take hop when I need a break from Ashtanga is my running joke, okay? So the thing that I say all the time though is, why do I keep coming back to these things? Because they're so hard, right? My body, like, it's hard. Chaturanga is not like being in this position and holding it and then getting to do this as the reprieve. It's hard. It's not fun. It's not fun all the time. But the reason that we do it, the reason that it is important is if I can get you to breathe through hard spaces in class, you can remember to breathe through hard moments in your life. You can remember to go, oh, my body can do hard things. My mind can do hard things. I can do this. I know how to breathe when I bump up against something that, you know, I'm not necessarily a fan of all the time, but I know how to breathe through this moment and be curious about what feedback I'm getting from my body as opposed to being judgmental. Be curious about what feedback I'm getting from this experience as opposed to be judgmental. This is why we do hard things on the mat. And the other thing that I will tell you too is, don't always chase the modification. The reason I say that is, give your body a chance to tell you if it is true for you or not, whether or not you can do that posture. Because sometimes we go for the modification because it creates instant ease, and we just want to take the pressure off, and we don't trust that we can do this hard thing. So you're welcome, Ruth. I'm here for you, friend. So my advice, or the thing that I implore you to give yourself the space to do, is try the hard thing first. And then go, okay, now I have an idea where I'm at and where I can grow to, or where I can make changes for myself. And then it gives you room to move. But if you never explore the hard thing, you'll never know what your limits are. Then you always will be in this place where you never get the opportunity to ride the wind. In the yoga space, it is one of the few spaces that I've come to where my energetic body gets to show up and meet my physical body, and they welcome each other into this experience. So welcome it. Don't shy away from the hard things. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. The other part of it is, when you say that you're going to do things when the stakes are low, it helps you eliminate being so afraid to try. Because getting out of that fear cycle, it's a muscle. And if you can get on the mat and be like, you know what, I'm going to learn the basic principles of birds of paradise. I'm going to find out what are the things I need to build this posture for myself. Ruth, you just did I promise you, by the end of this, if you want that posture, I will give you the basics to do it, and you'll have something to work on. I promise you. It does not matter what your body looks like. The only limitations that we press on our body are the ones that we self-impose. That's right. It's the stuff that's between your ears. Okay? So give yourself the opportunity to deconstruct your experience of fear and being afraid to try. Because I know in Black bodies, I know in a Black body, we shrink as a means of safety. We get quiet as a means of safety. We don't tell our stories as a means of safety, because let's face it, it is not necessarily safe out there. But in this space, you get to take all that off and uncover who you are. So give yourself the opportunity to do that. I know that's a lot. And if somebody is crying already, I'm sorry. It's only like day one, and here we are. I am so sorry. But I told y'all I was going to tug all your feelings. I just wanted to make sure that I kept up my end of the bargain. Okay? But it is hard, and I feel that too. That's why I want to directly speak to that. The new thing that I ask myself whenever I take pole class, because I pole dance as well, and I teach that too. That's why the studio's name is what the studio's name is. I ask myself these days, what am I afraid of? And is this a space that if I can't do it, or if I struggle to do it, or if I feel like I'm not good enough to do it, am I still safe? And if the answer is yes, then one more time, what am I afraid of? Let's go see what I can be if I stop playing scared. So I pose the same question to you. Let's see what you can be if you don't play scared. You're welcome for this space. All right, y'all. I think I've tugged on enough feelings for the first 2 hours that we've been together, for a few hours that we've been together. Your homework from this posture breakdown is to work on your sun salutation. You're going to do A and B, and you're going to do those until we meet again. Now, I do want to pose this question to the group. I know that I set the schedule for a Saturday every single month until we're done. Okay. Do any of you want me to add an additional day? Would it be helpful if we met again?
I have a
If I open for practice hours or something of that ilk? Yes, Claudette.
again, Claudette. I thought the classes were Wednesday 2:30 to 3:30. There's Saturday?
Saturday 2:30 to 3:30.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. All right, you're good with schedule is. So what I'll do is, if I have space on my end for an additional day for us to practice or to do a little bit deeper work, I will make it available to those who want to join. That's outside of the regular requirements of teacher training. Okay. But I do want to put it out there for when I can do it. All right. I just wanted to ask before I go, like, here's this thing I made and nobody needs it. So, okay. All right. Additional day sounds good. All right. Where I can offer additional support, I will. And I will let you know, when that's available. Like to be able to join for extra. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll try and throw an extra posture breakdown in our scheduling. That's a part of teacher training. It will be a group class, so there's no additional cost for that particular thing. But make sure you sign up for the virtual studio so you can get on your mat and practice. The only way you're going to get grooved in for your sun salutations is repetition. You notice I sat here and I started calling the class to you, and I didn't have to do the thing. That's years of doing the same thing over and over again. And it's so in my system now that I did not mean to do part of it in Sanskrit, but I teach it that way so often that I blurted it out without even, being aware of it. So the way that you get to that point is getting on your mat and doing it. I know everyone wants like the secret, secret key to yoga. It's getting on the mat. I can't do it for you. You have to do it. I wish there was better magic than that. There is not. Okay. So if you have questions, DM me first on Instagram or TikTok. Instagram is my preference. If you can't get me there, send me a text message. I will answer as well. Ground down with the feet and bend the knees if necessary to rise up slowly. Inhale. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to make sure that your feet are grounded, Kiki, in order to root and stand tall. Your feet are where you start. Okay. All right. So our next formal meeting is going to be at a time in a place that I can't remember off the top of my head. And I will get it. Okay, so the next time that I will see you is March 29th. And we will revisit sun salutation and start working on standing posture. Okay? I will be sending you the link for the portal. I will be sending you the link regarding the in-person meeting. And I will be sending you information on when our next teacher training meeting is going to be, just as a reminder. Everyone has the schedule already. I sent it in the welcome email. As it stands today, everyone has a schedule, okay? No, the next classes will be an hour. We'll get in and get right to it. I just needed to do introductions today since this is our first meeting, and I wanted you all to get to talk to each other. Oh, yes, that's the other thing. Your materials will be in the email. So your manual will be in the email, and the 2 books will be in the email as well. Okay. All right. Give me 24 hours to get the email out because I need to make sure everybody's on the list because I had a few folks that missed it. Can I send you the welcome email? Yes, I will, Steph. I will send you the welcome email. If you can text me your email address, Steph, to make sure I have it, and send it to me on Instagram, please. Does everyone have the studio's or the magazine's Instagram? I do have a studio one, but I use the magazine more than anything. Everyone have the magazine's Instagram? I think that's how you all found me. So no? Okay. Let me give that really quick. Quick, like in a hurry. Okay. So that is our Instagram, so make sure you follow us there. And for those of you who are TikTok, I'm Black Prana on TikTok as well, so follow me there too. I do weekly journal prompts if you want to get on that stuff. It's just more fun content. I'm glad you're glad to be here and that we're in space with each other. So I hope you enjoyed your Saturday. If you need a cocktail, I understand. Ruth is not a guest. If you need to find your way to some Prosecco, I understand. But give yourself the space that you need to recover, however you need to recover, and whatever that may look like for you. So thank you, Simone. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. If you need me, you know where to find me on the interwebs, and I will see y'all soon. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye.